At Forward Operating Base Apache in Afghanistan, the impossible started happening on a Tuesday. Critical equipment began failing in ways that defied physics. Soldiers reported seeing things that couldn't exist, and 3 separate incidents occurred simultaneously across the base. Incidents that should have been completely unrelated. Staff Sergeant Marcus Webb was about to discover that some mysteries run deeper than enemy action. It was October 15th, 2019, and Forward Operating Base Apache had been operating in the Helmand province for 18 months without a single major incident. The base housed 800 American personnel, including regular infantry, special operations forces, intelligence analysts, and support staff. Located in one of the most contested regions of Afghanistan, FOB Apache served as a critical hub for counter-terrorism operations against Taliban and ISIS-K forces in the region. Staff Sergeant Marcus Webb had been the base's senior logistics coordinator for 8 months, responsible for tracking equipment, supplies, and personnel movements. At 32 years old, Webb was a career soldier from Detroit who'd served 3 previous deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. He had a reputation for meticulous record-keeping and an almost obsessive attention to detail that made him invaluable for identifying patterns and preventing logistical nightmares. Webb's office was located in the base's main administrative building, a reinforced concrete structure that housed the command center, communications hub, and intelligence operations. From his desk, he could monitor the entire base's operational status through a network of computers that tracked everything from ammunition inventory to vehicle maintenance schedules. It was the perfect position to notice when things started going wrong. The first incident occurred at exactly 13:47 hours on that Tuesday afternoon. Webb was reviewing supply manifests when every computer screen in the administrative building simultaneously went black. Not powered down, not crashed, simply black, as if the displays had been painted over with digital ink. The screens remained functional, showing cursor movements and responding to keyboard inputs, but displaying nothing visible. Webb immediately contacted the IT support team, led by specialist Jennifer Park, a 24-year-old computer specialist from California who'd been maintaining the base's network systems for 6 months. Park arrived within minutes, her expression growing increasingly confused as she ran diagnostics on the affected systems. "Sergeant Webb, this doesn't make any sense," Park said, staring at her diagnostic tablet. "The computers are functioning normally. All processes are running, data is being transmitted and received, but the display output it's like something is intercepting the video signal and replacing it with nothing." Webb watched as Park attempted various solutions, rebooting systems, checking cable connections, even swapping monitors between computers. Nothing worked. The screens remained black, though the computers continued operating normally beneath the invisible interface. "Have you ever seen anything like this before?" Webb asked. Park shook her head, her voice carrying a note of professional frustration. "In 15 years of working with computer systems, I've never encountered anything that could cause this specific type of failure. It's like something is selectively blocking visual output while leaving all other functions intact." As they worked to understand the computer problem, Webb's radio crackled with an urgent transmission from the base's motor pool. Sergeant First Class Rodriguez, the senior mechanic, was reporting a problem with the vehicle fleet that was equally impossible to explain. "Command, this is motor pool. We've got a situation here. Every wheeled vehicle on the base has simultaneously developed the same mechanical failure. The engines run fine, all systems show green, but none of them will move forward. It's like something is preventing the wheels from rotating, but there's no mechanical reason for it." Webb grabbed his radio and headed for the motor pool, leaving Park to continue working on the computer systems. The motor pool was located on the opposite side of the base, a large maintenance facility that housed and serviced the FOB's fleet of Humvees, MRAPs, trucks, and specialized vehicles. As Webb approached, he could hear the sound of engines running at idle, but no vehicles were moving. Rodriguez was standing next to a Humvee with its hood open, staring at the engine with complete bewilderment. The vehicle was running smoothly. All gauges showed normal readings, but when Rodriguez engaged the transmission and pressed the accelerator, the wheels remained motionless. "Sergeant Rodriguez, what exactly happened?" Webb asked, pulling out his notebook to document the incident. "About 10 minutes ago, every vehicle just stopped moving," Rodriguez explained, wiping grease from his hands. "We were conducting routine maintenance when someone tried to move a truck, and it wouldn't budge. We've tested every vehicle on the lot. Same thing. Engines work fine, transmission engages, but it's like the wheels are locked in place by something we can't see." Webb walked around the Humvee, examining the wheels and undercarriage. There were no visible obstructions, no mechanical locks, no apparent reason why the vehicle shouldn't move. He watched as Rodriguez demonstrated the problem, revving the engine while the wheels remained completely stationary. "Any theories?" Webb asked. Rodriguez shook his head. "Sir, in 20 years as a mechanic, I've never seen anything that could cause this. It's like physics stopped working for our vehicles. The mechanical systems are perfect, but something is preventing forward motion that I can't identify or fix." Before Webb could respond, his radio erupted with another urgent transmission, this time from the base's communications center. Staff Sergeant Lisa Chen, the senior communications specialist, was reporting the third impossible incident of the day. All units, this is comms. We have a priority situation in the communications array. All outgoing transmissions are being modified in real time. Request immediate assistance from command personnel." Webb left the motor pool and ran toward the communications center, located in a heavily secured building near the base's perimeter. Chen met him at the entrance, her face pale with confusion and something that looked like fear. "Sergeant Webb, you need to hear this," Chen said, leading him into the communications room. "About 5 minutes ago, our outgoing radio transmissions started changing themselves. We send one message, but something else goes out over the airwaves." Chen sat down at her console and demonstrated the problem. She typed a simple message. "Base Apache to command, request supply update," and transmitted it using standard military radio protocols. But through the speakers, Webb heard something completely different. Instead of Chen's professional military communication, the speakers broadcast what sounded like a voice, speaking in an unknown language, using tonal patterns that didn't match any human linguistic structure. The voice was clearly artificial, but not like any computer-generated speech Webb had ever heard. It sounded organic, yet impossible, as if it originated from a source that understood human vocal cords, but had never heard human speech. "When did this start?" Webb asked, checking his watch and making notes. "Exactly 1,347 hours, Chen replied. "Same time the computer screens went black and the vehicles stopped working. We've tested multiple radio systems, different frequencies, even tried satellite communications. Everything we send out gets translated into this unknown language." Webb listened to several more test transmissions, each one being converted into the same impossible linguistic pattern. The voice speaking the unknown language remained consistent, the same tone, the same rhythm, as if a single intelligence was responsible for all the translations. "Have you been able to record any of this?" Webb asked. Chen nodded, pointing to her recording equipment. "That's the strange part. When we try to record the outgoing transmissions, our equipment only captures what we originally sent. The modified language doesn't show up on any of our recording devices. It's only audible through live transmission. Webb spent the next 2 hours moving between the 3 affected areas, documenting the incidents and trying to find connections between the failures. The computer blackout, the vehicle immobilization, and the communication interference had all begun at exactly the same time, but affected completely different systems using different technologies. By 1600 hours, word of the incidents had spread throughout the base, and soldiers were beginning to develop theories about what might be causing the problems. Webb overheard conversations that ranged from enemy electronic warfare to equipment sabotage to more exotic explanations. Private Collins, a 19-year-old soldier from Ohio, approached Webb with a theory that reflected what many of the younger soldiers were thinking. "Sergeant Webb, sir, do you think this could be some kind of alien technology? I mean, 3 different systems failing in impossible ways at the exact same time? That's not normal warfare." Webb had been trying to avoid considering non-conventional explanations, but Collins raised a point that was difficult to dismiss. The simultaneous failure of unrelated systems, each in ways that defied normal mechanical and electronic principles, did suggest an intelligence operating with technology beyond current human capabilities. "What makes you think aliens, Private?" Webb asked, genuinely curious about the soldier's reasoning. Collins pulled out his phone and showed Webb several articles he'd been reading. "Sir, there have been reports of similar incidents at military bases around the world. Equipment failures that can't be explained, electronic interference that doesn't match any known technology, and always the same pattern. Multiple systems failing simultaneously in ways that shouldn't be possible." Webb took note of Collins's information, though he remained skeptical of extraterrestrial explanations. His training and experience suggested more conventional causes, even if he couldn't immediately identify them. As evening approached, Webb compiled his incident reports and prepared to brief the base commander, Colonel Sarah Martinez. Martinez was a veteran officer who'd commanded FOB Apache since its establishment, and she had a reputation for level-headed decision-making under pressure. Webb found Martinez in the command center, studying tactical maps and receiving updates from various department heads. When he presented his preliminary report on the day's incidents, Martinez listened intently, asking detailed questions about timing, affected systems, and potential correlations. "Staff Sergeant Webb, in your professional opinion, what are we dealing with here?" Martinez asked after reviewing his documentation. Webb chose his words carefully. "Ma'am, the simultaneous nature of the failures suggests a coordinated cause, but the affected systems are too diverse for conventional sabotage or electronic warfare. We're looking at something that can selectively interfere with visual displays, mechanical motion, and radio transmissions simultaneously, using methods that our technical personnel can't identify or counter." Martinez nodded thoughtfully. "What about the possibility of advanced enemy technology? Could the Taliban or ISIS-K have acquired electronic warfare capabilities we're not aware of?" "That's possible, ma'am, but the level of sophistication required would be beyond anything we've seen from regional insurgent groups. This kind of selective system interference would require technology more advanced than most nation-state military programs." As they discussed possible explanations, Specialist Park entered the command center with an update on the computer systems. Her expression was troubled, and she carried a printout of diagnostic data that she clearly found disturbing. "Colonel Martinez, Sergeant Webb, I've been analyzing the computer blackout, and I've found something unusual," Park said, spreading her data across the command table. "While the screens have been black, the computers have been receiving and processing data from an external source. Something has been communicating with our systems using protocols that shouldn't exist." Webb examined Park's data, noting patterns of digital communication that appeared to follow logical structures but used formatting that didn't match any known computer language. "What kind of data is being transmitted?" "That's the problem, sir," Park replied. "The data appears to be some kind of mapping or surveillance information. Our computers are receiving detailed structural plans of the base, personnel movement schedules, and what looks like tactical assessments of our defensive capabilities. It's like something is conducting a comprehensive intelligence operation using our own computer systems." The implications of Park's discovery sent a chill through the command center. If an unknown intelligence was accessing detailed information about the base's operations, every mission, every defensive position, and every personnel movement could be compromised. Colonel Martinez immediately ordered a security lockdown and called for an emergency meeting of all department heads. As Webb prepared to expand his investigation, he couldn't shake the feeling that the day's incidents were just the beginning of something much larger and more threatening. That night, as Webb reviewed his notes and tried to piece together the events of the day, he noticed something that made him reconsider everything he thought he understood about the situation. In his detailed timeline of the incidents, he found a pattern that suggested the failures weren't random or external attacks. Each incident had occurred immediately after specific personnel had interacted with the affected systems. The computer blackout had started moments after Specialist Park had logged into the network for routine maintenance. The vehicle immobilization had begun right after Sergeant Rodriguez had attempted to move a truck for inspection. The communications interference had started when Staff Sergeant Chen had tried to send a routine status report. But what disturbed Webb most was a detail he'd almost overlooked. In each case, Private Collins had been present or nearby when the incidents began. Collins had been in the administrative building delivering mail when the computers went black. He'd been at the motor pool requesting a vehicle assignment when the transportation systems failed. And he'd been in the communications center updating his contact information when the radio interference started. It could be coincidence. Collins was a mail clerk whose duties required him to visit every department on the base throughout the day. But Webb's instincts, honed by years of military service and logistics coordination, told him that coincidences of this magnitude were extremely rare. As Webb prepared for sleep, he made a decision that would shape the rest of his investigation. Tomorrow, he would begin tracking not just the incidents themselves, but the people who were present when they occurred. If there was a pattern, he would find it. And if someone on the base was responsible for the impossible failures, he would identify them. What Webb didn't know was that his investigation was being watched, and that the intelligence behind the incidents was fully aware of his growing suspicions. The next phase of the plan was already in motion, and tomorrow would bring new impossibilities that would challenge everything the soldiers of FOB Apache believed about reality, technology, and the nature of their mission in Afghanistan. The war they thought they were fighting was about to become something completely different, and Staff Sergeant Marcus Webb was the only one who suspected that their greatest enemy might be wearing an American uniform.
Strange surveillance reports begin coming in from perimeter guards, and Webb discovers that someone has been monitoring his investigation. But the surveillance methods being used don't match any known technology.